GM everyone, hello and welcome to yet another Developers Guild. Today from Berlin, we have the last days at Berlin Blockchain Week. And put up in the chat who is here at Berlin Blockchain Week. We had an amazing week with the startup village at Solana. Yes, hello, welcome. And happy to have Bradydon with me from HawkFi. And without further ado, let's welcome him to the stage and enjoy.
Hi, everybody. Nice to meet you. Thanks for having us here. More than happy to share what we've been shipping. And I think I'm ready to share screen. So we like to, instead of pitching our product, we like to let our product speak for itself and just demo it for you guys and see how it could be useful for liquidity providers.
Yeah, sounds great. We love the hands-on experience. Are you also in Berlin Blockchain Week by any chance?
No, actually, I just came back from Solana Summit in Vietnam. Now I'm in Singapore. So our team is remotely all over the place, but I personally hop around Asia most of the time.
All right, sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, also, would you like to answer questions while you're presenting, or should we do it at the end, like a Q&A session?
We could do both, I think. I think while I am demoing the product, I cannot see much or things outside of the chat and whatnot. So just feel free to chime in and just ask a question or just let me know if I need to pause anywhere. But at the end of the demo, we could always do another Q&A also.
Sounds great. Awesome. Then take it away.
All right, cool. So hi guys. So this is HawkFi. I am one of the co-founders, of HawkFi Protocol. So where do we start? So we mainly serve liquidity providers. So whether you are DLMMing on Meteora or providing concentrated liquidity on Orca or even on Radium. We are going to be integrating with Radium very soon. So the two big pain points for liquidity providers are, firstly, a lot of liquidity providers LP blindly. They just generate fees, but they don't know whether they're truly profitable or not because of impermanent loss. And secondly, the bigger pain point is that liquidity providing is very manual. You have to swap, you have to get the right ratios, you have to deposit, and then when the price moves and your LP is out of range and you're not generating fees, you have to withdraw, swap, and then redeposit again. So we solve all these pain points with smart automations. So TLDR, what is HawkFi? HawkFi is an LP aggregator that lets you get better yield through smart automations. So this is the DApp, the one you probably can see through the screen share right now. And then let me walk you through the product and some of the resources we have. So at the very bottom over here, we have a link to the docs. So don't worry about not catching things during this stream, which I'm sure is recorded as well. You could go to our docs or go to our Twitter as well. And we have a lot of the tutorials. In fact, this is specifically a thread of the different tutorials and recordings we have of the different smart automations that you can enjoy as a liquidity provider. So this image sums it up actually. So you could auto compound, auto rebalance, take profit, stop loss, and even DCA or limit order as well using HawkFi's smart automations. This page of the docs also gives a TLDR of what you can do. So auto compound is to maximize fees by constantly compounding your rewards. And then auto rebalance, this one actually needs to be updated. It says every 15 minutes. This has been upgraded to 1 minute. So imagine HawkFi automatically rebalancing positions for you every 1 minute. So you are constantly in range and constantly generating fees on Meteora, on Orca, and soon on Radium as well. And furthermore, you could also do directional auto rebalance. So sometimes, generally, auto rebalances go both ways. When price goes up, it auto rebalances up. When price goes down, it auto rebalances down. But if you are making a specific directional bet on a token and you want to minimize divergence loss, you want to minimize too many swaps, you could set it to only auto rebalance up only or down only. And don't worry if any of these things are confusing or there's too many words over here. We will cover them in the demo, which I will be showing very soon. And last but not the least are TPSL. I'm sure most of you are familiar with take profit and stop loss in trading in general. And lastly, dropping a little alpha over here. One more thing that we are shipping very soon. In fact, it's already live, but it's currently in beta testing and invite only, is a copy trading solution, or rather, let's call it copy LPing. So back again to HawkFi. What do we help? How do we help empower liquidity providers on Solana who actually empower the empower the backbone of Solana DeFi, which is the liquidity backbone, the on-chain Nasdaq? We help them with smart automations for better yield. And the ultimate form of smart automation is when you could set and forget. You could just deposit Sol, and then HawkFi will automatically DLMM or CLMM for you on Meteora, on Orca. And that ultimate expression of that is via copy trading, where you could just follow smart money and copy trade or copy LP their strategies. Anyway, so let's get right straight to the product currently. Let's see. So this is the homepage of HawkFi, which we like to call kind of like a deck screener for LPing. So even if you don't actively LP or if you don't actively trade, this homepage, even if you just browse it, is very useful because this automatically sorts the pools from highest fee generation. So, sorry, from the top fee generating pools. So this is a good indicator of pools or tokens that are trending in volume and fee generation right now. And note that volume can easily be faked or wash traded sometimes, but fees cannot be faked. So fees are usually the highest signal indicator to see whether a token is currently trending. So this is the first page. You could go to the second page and onwards. But then let's see. Let's stick to the first page. So the usual suspects of tokens trending, the Trump meme coin, Sol USDC, because that's a major token, Fart coin, because that's a major or trending meme coin, which has been for a while, and Launch coin as well. And you could see over here, it shows the pool specifically from the different dexes, Orca or Meteora. And then you could also filter to only show, let's say, trending pools from Meteora, and trending pools from say Orca. And if you go to Radium, it will just say soon because it's still currently in stress testing mode, and we hope to ship it very soon. Another thing we are going to enhance is right now you could see fee generation or trending pools based on the last 7 days and the last 24 hours. And obviously, degens want a degen in real time. We are aiming to provide intraday screening as well. So not just trending pools in the last 24 hours, but hopefully, say, in the last 6 hours or 12 hours, or in lower time frames. Anyway, so let me refresh this page. So let me give you an example of how an LP aggregator could be useful for liquidity providers. So let's say you want to LP into Fartcoin. In one dashboard, you could immediately see both pools on Meteora and Orca, and you could see which ones generate the highest yield for you. So in this case, it shows you that for Fartcoin USDC, in fact, Orca currently produces a higher yield, over 2% per day versus on Meteora, the best currently is providing you with 0.9 or 0.87% per day. And then you could easily pick which one you want to LP into. Do you want to prioritize yield or have certain other considerations? And then maybe before I automate one LP strategy for you, I could show you some of the other pools or positions that we automated from previous demos. So there's a fart coin and a Sol USDC position over here. So I'm just waiting for the PNL to load. I think my internet is not that strong over here. Let me show you the PNL chart for Sol USDC. So this is on Orca. And so as you could see over here, this is an automated strategy. HawkFi is self-custodial, by the way. So it merely or mainly helps you automate LP strategies with auto compound, auto rebalance, take profit, stop loss. But then you are essentially depositing directly or through HawkFi into Orca, and you have full control of your funds to deposit and withdraw. Yeah, and then let me show you the charts. So this is a bit zoomed in. If I move it to all time, this orange line is basically USDC. Obviously, USDC, the value is stable, so it doesn't change or anything. So let me show you. It shows you that the position is actually in the negative, and obviously because prices have been dropping and we are arguably in a mini bear market right now, depending on how you define it. But what's interesting over here is that because we LP or automated this LP strategy for Sol USDC, we are minus 7.5% on our position. Whereas if we were just holding Sol, we would be at a almost minus 40%. So in that sense, although this LP strategy is not profitable, it is positive EV. It is net beneficial because you lost 8%. Well, you lost 7.5% instead of losing 39%. So this is the part about having LP analytics to help you make more well-informed LP or investment decisions. Let me show you another position. Let me see, maybe the fart coin one would be great. Let's see. Which one was it? Oh yeah, this one. So I remember setting a directional auto rebalance position. I think this was a few days ago and fart coin dumped more, which is why this is out of range. And that is because I set it to auto rebalance up only. Oh, sorry, not that one. I want to show you. This is an example of directional auto rebalance. So see, when Fartcoin was trading sideways, the price is when the price is in range, fees are generated. But then when it goes out of range at the bottom, it doesn't do anything, because if you rebalance too many times, manually or automatically, you are subject to more swap fees and then sometimes impermanent loss as well. So sometimes if you are medium term or long term bullish on a token, when the token dumps or corrects, you might want to just wait for the token to recover. So in this sense, that's what happened. The token eventually recovered and then kept trending upwards. And as you can see, because we automated this position through HawkFi, this liquidity position of Fartcoin has been constantly generating fees as it went upwards. You don't need to manually track your position, lose sleep, and then go through 10 plus transactions a day just to rebalance and make sure you're in range. This is essentially a set and forget when when Fartcoin was trending upwards. But then when it trended downwards, that's when this has been out of range for an extended period of time. But then we can, let me show you. This is auto compound. Sorry, maybe I'll slow down a bit. You could look at the automations over here. Auto compound is on, auto rebalance is on. You can click configure to change the automations. So we did not set a take profit or stop loss. Actually, we should have. That would have been a good demonstration of the feature. And this is the stop loss feature is especially popular during a bear market for obvious reasons. So as you could see here with auto rebalance, see that it says here rebalance mode follow price up only for every 20 minutes. So actually this illustrates it best. Look at how the LP position will auto rebalance upwards and downwards if we do it both ways versus if we just follow price up only. See, so this is what I meant by directional auto rebalancing. Okay. Anyway, so these are existing positions. Let's start with a brand new one. So let's look for Fartcoin. As mentioned earlier, we could look at or find the pools that generate the highest yield for you. In this case, it is, where was it? It is Orca. But given how Meteora is trending lately, let's just give a demo on Meteora, although the yield is currently lower. So let's create a new position over here. There's an existing one already, but I want to create a new one. So just like on Meteora, you could pick your liquidity shapes, and then you can, set the price range over here. Let's maybe do something that is single-sided, since assuming we think that Fartcoin has reached a local bottom, let's do single-sided LPing. You could set your stop loss or take profit over here. So as you could see, you could set it to stop loss at, say, when Fartcoin dumps 15% or 30%, which is when Fartcoin is 73 cents. I personally don't think I'll go there. Let's say we set a stop loss at 15% at 95 cents, and then HawkFi will automatically close your position for you and swap it to Sol. And then this is the Fartcoin we already have and prepared in the wallet. Let's put everything in. So as you can see, this is a single-sided position. Hopefully my wallet is still connected. Sorry. My wallet got disconnected because of the long cooldown. So let me just refresh real quick. Okay, yes, wallet is connected. Bid ask, single side, stop loss, swap to Sol minus 15% when Fartcoin is 95 cents. And we only want to deposit Fartcoin and no USDC because we are at a Fartcoin local bottom. And then let's deposit and automate. So as you can see behind the scenes, there are multiple transactions done, and you could do it in one click with HawkFi. And as you can see over here, you have auto compound on by default and stop loss on because I selected it a while ago, but auto rebalance is not on. So let's try that right now. So again, a recap, these are all the automations we currently have. Auto rebalance, you just need to check this. FYI, we are working on streamlining the user experience to make it simpler and easier for everybody. Understand that this is a lot of settings for a lot of pro traders or pro LPers, but we're trying to strike a balance between customizability and simplicity as well. So rebalance mode, this is the powerful stuff. So we want to set it for up or down, both ways, or up only or down only. Honestly, personally, I feel like down only doesn't really make sense. Up only makes the most sense because you profit from two things, from the token price going up and from the fees you generate from the LPing. And then here's the other thing that we recently shipped for HawkFi. You can set it to rebalance every 1 minute, or 2 minutes, or 15, or 30, or 1 hour or more. Currently, there's a TVL threshold. So if you want to set the rebalance to cool down or happen every 1 to 15 minutes, a minimum deposit of $3,000 is needed. This is just to make sure it's sustainable and economical as a protocol, as an automation platform. But we are working on removing this TVL barrier to make fast auto rebalancing available to everybody. So stay tuned for that. In fact, all of these things, uh, we're working on shipping a lot of new things. Please stay tuned in our socials so you can uh, you'll be the first to know when those upgrades and new features are available. Anyway, so let's set this for 1 minute auto rebalancing because we're depositing at least $3,000, so we qualify for that. And just click proceed. Uh, this is also something else where you could set the rebalances to be narrower or asymmetric, kind of like single-sided ish, to like wider towards above the price or below the price range. But for now, let's just keep it as default. Um, and even the liquidity shape when you rebalance. And then you click save and close. Oh no, Fartcoin dumped further, and now we're out of range again. And it is not rebalancing because we set it to auto rebalance up only. So see, this is the example I was saying. Although it is out of range, do you really want to rebalance downwards right now, or wait for Fartcoin to recover again and then generate fees from there? So it really depends on your conviction and your belief in the direction of the token price. So as you can see over here, it says it shows you that these are the automations you have on for Fartcoin: auto compound, auto rebalance, stop loss with an auto swap to sol. And let me see. Yeah, there you go. I think that's about it. Um, that's all. Or those are the main features that I intended to demo for HawkFi to you guys. So for all of you guys who are actively liquidity providing on Meteora or on Orca, and if you're doing it manually, I hope this automation platform is useful for you to help you save time and to help you be more productive in generating yield when you LP. And stay tuned for the Radium integration that we will be launching, and also copy trading, copy LPing, which we're already beta testing with users. Um, I've mentioned earlier that these are their docs for HawkFi, and these are our socials as well. In fact, this is my personal one. Uh, Us and the team, we are all very open. So please feel free to DM us directly if you have any questions, if you have any feedback. We ship pretty fast, so if you want a specific automation feature, we would really love to hear from you guys on how to make your lives easier when you liquidity provide on the DEXs. And that's all that we mainly wanted to share. I think if I go back here, yeah, I think, yeah, we're in that infinite thing. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you for that introduction. It has been a very much deep dive into the technical or like trader part of what you've done, and like definitely if I'm not a trader myself, but I know a couple of things good that we recorded, I would say, so we can like people that go over it can go through again. And maybe as from a developer side, do you also have any API integration or like something that developers could also use?
Yes and no. We do have it, but we haven't opened it up widely. We have received several requests for that because our competitive advantage, or HawkFi's competitive advantage, is its automation. So we have received multiple requests for us to provide the SDK or API for other platforms to automate LP strategies. But just frankly and honestly speaking, we've been focused on shipping a lot of the new features instead of working on the SDK. So that is definitely something we will look into in the future, but honestly, not so soon because we want to make sure the feature set is complete and super useful for our users first in HawkFi. So, for example, even right now, like what I mentioned earlier, one of the top priorities is shipping Radium, and then also the copy trading feature.
All right. Yeah, sounds good. Maybe we will get on another dev guild and you can show us the SDK once it's done.
Definitely.
We have also a question. Does auto balance also help with preventing impermanent loss?
So the answer is nothing will help you avoid impermanent loss, but what you can do is mitigate it. Because see, for example, if we auto rebalance, let's say the price goes up and we rebalance upwards, and then suddenly the token dumps. So HawkFi worked as you intended because the price goes up, HawkFi auto rebalances upwards for you. But then when the token dumps, then you suffer impermanent loss because yes, you generated fees by being in range for a while. But then when the token goes out of range and then the token price goes down, you suffer impermanent or even permanent loss, depending on where the direction of the token price. So what HawkFi does is it helps you make smarter and well-informed decisions based on what your intentions are, or what based on your conviction on the token. Like, do you have a bullish or bearish conviction? And that's how you could customize the strategies to suit your conviction. But it's not like, oh, you use HawkFi automatically, there's no impermanent loss. I'm sure that is the dream tool for any LPer.
I think that answers the question. Also, from what I've seen that you mentioned is you have those strategies where it's even up only, down only, or like always rebalancing. And of my own understanding, wouldn't be it always better to like optimize in both ways? So like if you go with an up only strategy and the token just declines all the time, like it goes down and just stays that way, you wouldn't get any rewards, right?
Yes, correct. Um, so both ways is still the most popular strategy. I guess it depends. There are many different trade-offs over here. If the yield and fee generation is very high, which means like the volume of the token is very high, then yes, you want to be constantly in range, whether the token is going up in price or down in price. But then if the yield is lower, then you don't want to rebalance too many times, incur swap fees from the dexes, and then suffer impermanent loss again by rebalancing too many times. So maybe as a rule of thumb, just now when I was sharing the Fartcoin example, the yield was roughly 1 to 2% per day, right? So rebalancing upwards and downwards every day might not make sense. uh, it's better to make a medium to long-term directional bet on that. Um, but then if the yield is not 1 to 2%, let's say the yield is 50% per day, and that happens for a token when it's very high volume or trending, right? Then in that situation, maybe it's worth to set it to auto rebalance both ways, up and down.
I see. All right. Yeah, probably some of the more advanced techniques that I personally don't use. And speaking about like the casual user, what is your target audience? Would you like I saw that it might be somewhat easier to regular people, but still, are you targeting just pros or also somebody like me?
So, HawkFi initially started, or as an LP aggregator, we currently target existing liquidity providers, what we call active liquidity providers, because there are some that are passive, right? And there are some liquidity providers that are very active. They LP every day, they rebalance their positions every day, they like to tweak their strategy every day. So that is our target users because they are the ones suffering from the biggest pain point of doing everything manually the most. And so just like any startup, and I'm sure there are lots of builders over here in your community, we want to build solutions to solve problems. So with this solution, we want to serve the people who are feeling the problem the most, and every day. And so these are the active liquidity providers. But then, just like any product that we built, we always start with an initial user persona and eventually want to expand to a bigger market or a different group of users. That is what we are doing right now too, with copy trading, because yes, we are helping people automate their strategy, but the ultimate level of automation is set and forget. Like, for example, in HawkFi, you still need to customize, right? But some people just want to set and forget. And so that's why we expanded to copy trading, because we want to expand from serving the active LPers to the passive ones as well.
Makes sense. All right. Yeah, I also know that we have lots of, or like some traders in our community, so I think your product might be helpful. If you also have from the community, from the online audience, have any questions either on Twitter or on YouTube, then it's now your time to write anything you would like to ask, and we will be happy to answer it. And in the meantime, do you have like links that you would like to share? I know you showed us a couple of ones, but ones that I can just show at the bottom for everyone to just visit.
I think mainly the HawkFi website, so hawkfi.ag, and the HawkFi X account or the HawkFi Twitter account or handle.
But you're also linking those on your website, right? So
Yeah, actually, those are on the website. So yeah, you could just go straight.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, hawkfi.ag. Check it out for all the tools. And yeah, we also have another question from Konstantinos. Very early hot site user since the NFT mint. Great to hear that. Any infos about the token? Has been a while with no announcements on this topic.
I recognize that username and the monkey PFP. So yes, we updated in our socials and community, whereby snapshots have been taken. So you don't need to do anything, whether you had the token or had the NFT, whether it is staked or unstaked in the wallet or anywhere. Snapshots have been taken. So which means those who were holding onto the token and NFTs will be entitled to the new token once we relaunch. So we have been exploring, not, I wouldn't even say exploring. For sure, HawkFi will be launching a new token. It's more about the timing, and timing will depend on the momentum of HawkFi's growth. So actually, that is one more thing to highlight over here. By LPing into HawkFi, you're actually double stacking points. So for example, if you LP into Meteora through HawkFi, through automated strategies on HawkFi, you are earning both Meteora points and HawkFi points as well.
Yeah, maybe for the ones who don't know about any NFT or token, can you give us some insights into that? What it's all about and why you even have it?
Sure, definitely. So this is a little bit of the long history of HawkFi. I guess this is relevant to share as well. So we are a team that has been building on Solana since 2021. So we've gone through the bull and bear, really stuck with Solana through thick and thin. And back then, we started as a yield aggregator, kind of like a Yearn Finance, aggregating all different sources of yield. Liquidity providing yield, borrow lending yield, NFT lending yield, anything in DeFi essentially. But then we realized that the biggest pain point that we were solving and where we found product market fit was when we aggregated and automated yield strategies specifically for liquidity providing. So HawkFi as a product has evolved a lot. And back then there was a token and NFT launch with multiple utilities for that product back then. But the product has evolved a lot over time. And it's kind of like if you ask people what is HawkFi or back then HawkSite, if you ask 5 people what is HawkSite, they will give you 10 different answers. And that's why we went through a whole rebranding and planning to relaunch the token as well. So very similar to Meteora. So before Meteora was Meteora, They were Mercurial. Was it Mercurial? I'm pretty sure it was Mercurial. So it was a different product and a different token. So to rebrand and relaunch a token, like they needed a clean slate. So very similar to us, or more like we are very similar to them.
All right, I see. And yeah, what I always like to ask on these developer guilds is how, like, if you like to join, of course, what your journey was coming into crypto. Because like we know the people who are in crypto, for them it's obvious to why we are in
Mhm.
crypto. But how did you come into crypto, and how did you start working with HawkFi?
Yeah, definitely. So I always have been a builder in the Web2 space. My previous background was more in B2B software as a service, specifically SaaS analytics. And so I've always been curious about crypto because in SaaS or in Web2 analytics, data is very siloed and controlled by different entities or the big tech and whatnot. Data is hard to get, but easy to process, easy to analyze and package in a useful way for users. But then in Web3, it is a complete opposite. Data is abundant. In fact, there's too much data and it's very messy because, blockchain, open source, public, etc. Uh, but then it's very hard to process the data in a meaningful and useful way for users. So I just found it interesting that the dynamics are completely flipped in crypto, and that's why I was interested to learn more about crypto coming from a B2B software as a service analytics background. So actually, when we started HawkFi or HawkSite very early on, uh, me and the team, we were thinking of going for an analytics angle, kind of like building a SaaS analytics product for crypto. Uh, and long story short, our users were very degen, and we realized that they needed automation tools instead of pure analytics tools.
I see. Nice. So are you one of the founders, I'm guessing?
Yes, sir.
And how was the journey for you founding a Web3 company?
How was the journey? I think it was more on I, I think we all have to have a very strong sense of urgency, like think less, do more, just ship fast and experiment, talk to users, get feedback. It could be positive feedback, negative feedback. Both positive and negative feedback are useful. Uh, and that's basically like the kind of like the mindset we always had. So I think there were hints of it in my answers to your previous question too. There wasn't really a grand plan. It was all very organic. It's like, oh, we started from Web2 analytics. Let's explore Web3 analytics. And oh, they don't care about Web3 analytics. They want automation. Okay, let's build automation. And then the product evolved a lot over time. And it's like, oh, maybe NFTs are trending and everybody wants NFTs. Let's explore NFT utilities. And oh, turns out that the utility was useful during a bull market, but not a bear market. Let's continue to reinvent ourselves and or adapt to the bear market and see what product would be useful in both bull and bear market. So especially in crypto, it's constant reinvention and adaptation. Uh, I think that's a TLDR. Just have to have a personal sense of urgency, ship fast, talk to users, and constantly adapt. Like what you start with is not what you'll end with. In fact, it will just keep evolving. I feel like the Tensor team is one of the best at this, right? They started with, you know, NFT marketplace, and then they launched Vector for meme coin trading, and now they need to reinvent themselves again. But it's like they're not experimenting on random ideas. It's all based on a very tight feedback loop with users. Again, like we have to build solutions that solve problems.
Oh, definitely. Like I've seen so many startups, and at the beginning you have an idea, and then you pivot multiple times, or like just adjust, change the idea, and at the end the product is looking differently. That's why it's
Mhm.
it's very important to talk to humans, test with humans, and yeah, I think it's a great input to also hear it from you. So thank
Mhm.
you for that. And yeah, guys, if you have any like last questions, feel free to drop them below. And maybe like one last question for myself. Would you have any alpha for the people community that is watching right now this live stream?
Alpha. I feel like I mentioned some of them a while ago. So it's the double stacking of points. If you LP through HawkFi, you get Meteora points and HawkFi points as well. Although I'll be honest, we don't have a specific timeline for the new TGE yet. And the other alpha is the copy trading solution. I feel like that would be the main one because honestly, right? Like liquidity providing automation, it's not for everybody. It's for the active LPers. But for copy trading, that is more relevant to more people because maybe you have FOMO from seeing a lot of people profiting on DLMM, but you have no time to manually or actively DLMM yourself. What you can do is just copy trade, throw a few sol and follow some smart wallets, and then just watch, hopefully, a number go up depending on the wallets you pick and how you customize the copy trading settings. So stay tuned for that. Follow our socials. And again, our DMs are open. We're very warm and friendly and responsive. So feel free to ask us or ask me anything. It doesn't have to be HawkFi related or DeFi related, even anything to do with building or starting a project on Solana. DMs are really open. More than happy to share our journey.
That's great to hear. Maybe just so people know, because I think some people join new or didn't see it. Your ad, I will post it here quickly, so we
Mhm.
have it. Let me just check to not write it wrong. It's at Bradydon, right?
Uh,
Bradydon.
Bradydon, yes.
It's okay. I hope I wrote it correctly. So
Yep.
yeah, it's always nice to hear. Like I've talked to people from within the Web3 space, people from outside the Web3 space, and like one of the key differences that you can talk, like actually talk to people from Web3, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's nice that you can not only talk about the product but also other stuff. So we love to see it. Feel free to message him, and yeah, amazing. Also, thank you very much for this developers guild, for joining here. And I see that we don't have any further questions. I think people would have to go through the video again if they really want to get deeper into the product. I would definitely have to, with not having too much of experience in financial market, but more on developer side. But yeah, it was great. Thanks for having you. And
No, my pleasure. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
great. Take care. See you in
All right,
a
take care.
next
See you.
episode.
Bye
Bye bye.
bye.